Well, morning, fellow zombies. It's 2:57 in the morning, Pacific Standard Time, Sunday, the 7th of May, 2023. The Weaver, John C. in Rosemond, California, United States of America. I'll probably put this in our diary of the Weaver named John Weaver, because there's a couple of items to talk about anyway. One's political, and the other one's caregiving. Which one do you want first? Neither? I know, but both have been irritating me like crazy. Caregiving, I've been talking about it on a diary left and right. How to take care of my family and what I've been doing with them. But I've also talked about the politics in the United States going crazy at this point. So which is the first one? Yeah, we'll do this one, the coronation. Yesterday, I did a lot of videos I still got to process and post of what I was showing on I got a laptop and recording it off of that just by using a cam so I can get it for history. And when I was online, there was a few Facebook posts that kind of got to me a little bit. And I thought it was disrespectful. So, in the United States of America, we have something called the freedom of speech situation going on. We're allowed to be denigrating as much as possible in our language, actually in our line here, because the First Amendment in the United States allows it. Freedom of speech against reprisals from the government if we are criticizing the government. I'm not quite sure how it works in England, though. How British law is, especially when they have to criticize their monarchy all the damn time. And I've heard it. I've heard stories about it. And they still don't like it. They still think that the monarchy should be abolished. An institution that has been there since William the Conqueror, back in, I think, 1066 approximate. They don't know anything else but the parliament and maybe a bit of democracy in there where people are allowed to vote. Different parties have their own different agendas, just like the ones we have here in the United States. But they're also under the constant umbrella of the monarchy, which the public taxpayers in Britain supports. And the people keep on trying to figure out, why are they supporting them like crazy? What good are they? They're just there. They're sucking out the life of England. They're sucking out the life of everything. Well, maybe. Some people actually thought that sometimes the monarchy in different ways would help. Now, being here in the States, we don't have the monarchy. We have our elected officials that, screwed up as they are the ones we have to keep voting back into place because we're too damn stupid for it. I say that because we've already been demonstrating it over the past almost 30 years already. When you have extreme left and extreme right squeezing in, and the finger pointing and the finger blaming starts. Blame this and blame that. It's their fault for everything here. We're trying to be the party that works with each other. Yeah, we want to take away this, we want to take away that, we want to oppose this way, we want to oppose everything else that goes against the Constitution. To us in the United States, the Constitution is sacrosanct. And unfortunately, somewhere in the Bills of Rights, we should have included, we had the right to keep our heads cool. We didn't. We have been tearing ourselves apart for God knows how long. We wanted a nice, united country. We had a divided war, Civil War, 1860. And we've still been having the division and derision ever since. Hell, it's been ongoing since before the Civil War. People wanted things to remain the same, and yet other people wanted progression, advancement, move, move, move. Some people just wanted to be left alone. Some of the states are doing that. One state wanted to try to break away from the country altogether. Couldn't even do that in SCOTUS. So that was kind of screwed up. But the thing is, what runs our companies these days, actually, our country these days, our companies. People across the pond worry about the monarchy ruining things. We have our own corporate entities ruining things left and right. And we've had what some of our progressives out there forgotten, that we've had SCOTUS rulings and court rulings to make corporations practically an institution in themselves. So they worry and they wonder and they yell and they scream. And they laugh their heads off when they got the corporations running anything and everything around here. Basically, the United States has become the United States of Corporateville, not America, because we don't even know what America is anymore. We have our own individual interpretations of what it is. We all have our own dreams about it. We have our own thoughts about it, what it should and should not be. And unfortunately, we can't get ourselves together to find out what the common goal is for our country these days. It's like everyone else for themselves, and more money for me and less for you. And who cares about your damn needs right now as it is? And then we got the politicians promising otherwise, but don't deliver as much because we have the corporations pulling the strings, according to progressive theory. And when mentioned on one of the corporate medias out there, silence happens. Oh yeah, the interview gets pulled, and then the only things you hear about is on the YouTube when you see some of the postings on there. Challenges. Corporations don't want their windows pulled. They don't want the drapes revealing the truth about corporate. Greed and capitalism runs things. Has the zeros and ones control things. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, he's gone over the deep end. He's talking about conspiracy theories. I'm thinking to myself, maybe you're right. Only because what I'm noticing, and I'm observing these situations over here, I'm not trying to shake people apart saying, look what we got here, boys and girls. Now what do we do about it? Let's run around without our heads, be like chickens, and freak out about everything and anything. Because. Unfortunately, we don't have a wizard that thinks how wonderful things are, unfortunately. There's no Dorothy to save us all these days. Pulls me to the point regarding the democracy situation happening in Britain. There's only a certain amount of freedom that they're allowed over there, but I don't know what the specific national policies or rules and regulations are. Just how far can they go regarding their protesting of their sovereignty? How far can they go to speak against the monarchy, against an institution that has been building upon itself since the island had started? And the question would be putting it back, right back in my face over here is, do I support the monarchy or not? I was born American with American values. What was taught during the days of the 60s and 70s or whatever the hell it was. Of those interpretations, because these days the interpretations are varied widely among age groups, among political areas. What about my own personal opinion about the American dream and the things we're going through. Do I support a monarchy? Across the pond, yeah, but in our territory, you kidding me? The reason why we got away from England is because A, we didn't like the monarchy in the first place, and B, we didn't want the control of the monarchy over us, and C, it sucks having no representation when we're getting taxed out of our minds and nobody wants to listen to us, even if we happen to put representation there. That's why we had a hissy fit. That's why we had a major hissy fit called the Revolutionary War. And it was bloody. And it was personal. A lot personal. Friends and family had to separate like crazy. If you were a supporter of Britain, of England, during that time, you were called a Tory. And in the eyes of the British-loving people, the ones that supported freedom and what the colonies wanted to get, they're called traitors because they went against the King of England. Maybe in a way I do agree with what they're trying to say. That absolute power corrupts absolutely. Maybe it was time a long time ago for the institutions to die off. And the people should take notice of that and do something about it. But it's not going to happen in my lifetime. I came across a few posters online who were dead set adamant that they hated the government. They hated what monarchy did to people. And they hate. And I was reminded of how much hatred and vitriol we still have towards each other in the United States, regardless of the differences we have and what we are. It seems like there's almost no common ground at this point over here, except maybe if you're on one political side or on another side, it's us versus them, and there is no common ground. We're in a constant civil war of sorts. We can't be civil to each other. We have to be combative. We have to be argumentative. We have to keep pointing fingers left and right, according to all these damn extremists on the left side or right side. Which ones was it anyway? Well, the liberal side would say no, because we're trying to keep the peace over here, and they're telling us we're evil. And the other ones keep saying, yeah, we're the left side's evil. We need to keep a Christian nation here. We need to be controlled by God. We need to be controlled by Jesus. We need to have a ruler that supports Jesus Christ or is Jesus Christ. And these are the people these are the kind of maggots that are getting more and more of the attention these days. The more vitriol they throw out there, the more they're getting it on the progressive news channels, and not to mention on YouTube left and right. But the corporate media will glance over the damn thing, not unless they've already done something major. It's bad enough that yesterday, during the coronation of a king in one particular country, we get a damn nut job going over to a shopping mall and starts killing people left and right. 9 dead, and a lot of people wounded. A lot of fear, a lot of mongering, a lot of insanity. Was that worth it? It was terrifying. I'm seeing all the pomp and circumstance. People are talking about how wonderful Prince Charles is and how wonderful the monarchy is, but how much differences they've got these days, and then they show the youth saying that we don't want the monarchy, we hate the monarchy. Why is the monarchy here? We can't afford the monarchy anymore. We have to do things what we need to do, what we want to do, but we're held back. And to me, it was either against the monarchy or about one generation against another generation. the youth always going against the old because they don't understand, don't want to understand, and want it now. We were like the same damn thing in their young age. But that didn't happen very well, did it? That didn't happen very much in our times. Growing up that way, we get our hands slapped, we get our faces smacked over, we get our butts bent over, and then whacked. We get to have our mouths washed out with salt, literally. And we had to end corporal punishment in schools because of so much child abuse and a lot of physical harm done. It's not enough to turn a kid and have him face the wall for about 5 or 10 minutes just because he's ruly, or actually unruly. Can't do that anymore. That's considered corporal punishment. So much like taking a wiffle bat and using it against the person's behind, or actually a wiffle paddle. One of those paddles with the holes drilled in it, the damn thing gives you tryptophobia. This damn thing hits you hits you on the ass, and you'd feel it. A long time ago, we had a elementary school teacher, principal. He did it until he got the notification, and he still did it. And he got his ass reamed from the school board on that one. And that's local. That's not national. National, we've got people who wanted to get leaders over there, going to be having people follow God. Well, if God was here in physical form, and if Jesus was here in physical form at this point over here, leading governments, that's one thing. We don't have them here. They're not here. They won't be here. They're not here to lead countries and kingdoms and stuff like that. We got to be the ones doing the damn schlub jobs in the first place. We humans. We humans were born with the free will, which means we can either kick someone else's ass or we can save their ass at the same time. Take a pick. We can make our government work for us, or we can have the government work against us. And we have to be agreed to be governed by the bodies we elect. But the catch is having an established institution declaring themselves sovereignty and a monarchy that cannot be moved out in any way, shape, or form, or ignored. We can try ignoring them. We try voting against them. But those who keep following the traditions and precedents of the institutions there, they're not going to give in that easily. They're not. Because it's ingrained into themselves. And they're going to make sure that everybody else knows about it in the first place. The only way I would think personally, if England is going to have a major government shift, is by having a national referendum of every party agreeing to this. Every party agreeing to this for the removal of the monarchy. Let us sink in for a second here. This is coming from a Yank across the pond from the former colonies of one particular tiny island who people ran away from to settle into the New World, not to mention to invade like crazy like Europe and everybody else had, in order to set up a new government, a new country, while stepping on other people left and right, and curtailing territories left and right. We in our European manifest destiny crap. But still, we wanted to have our technical freedom at this point over here. Unfortunately, a technical freedom for the elites and nothing for the undersigned. Because the undersigned has to support the elites, because that's how the pyramid works. But still, the dream of the American wish that we would all strive to get our dreams built upon and keep the dreams going. And if it helps the elite one way or another, fine. But if it doesn't, good luck on that one. But if it does, an uphill battle, a constant uphill battle. But for a lot of people who are trying to struggle for that, hopefully it'll be well worth it. Very few actually make it, and when they do make it, they get to make their own little empires and their own little pyramids. But that's the problem with mankind. There's always had to be somebody who has thought themselves elite over everybody else. The reason why people keep forgetting world history and how it's relevant these days. Even U.S. history is the same damn way. Even British history is the same damn way. Every country is the same damn way. It doesn't matter what they are. You can look at the ancient Central America systems they had back there. The different cultures. Some actually made it and others didn't. You thought we were brutal? Shh. You thought England was brutal? Shh. Give me a break. They want to get rid of sovereignty because sovereignty is too damn fat and lazy. What have they done for us? I should be paying the question to them. What have you guys done for your own damn country and your own damn government? Except bitch and bellyache about it. What have you done? If that's all you've been doing is bitching and bellyaching about it and nothing's been done, then you're stuck where you are. Nothing to do about it. And that's why they have to keep pinning down with these guys. What pissed me off is when they started making a sovereign king who just got coronated by the Church of England into a Star Wars character named Smoke. S-M-O-A-K. I think it was either first or second movie that came out. That character. Second movie, I think. Yeah, second movie. And Smoke was supposed to be this villain. Smoke was a con man next to the Palpatine. But apparently the British Empire is compared to the Galactic Empire. I always say that you guys didn't understand your empires very well. You guys still have your voting. You guys still have your government systems going on. You still have government assistance, and you don't even like that. You don't even like that. You may get some life support, medical life support. You guys are better off than we are in the States. But you don't want royalty. I hate to tell the youth, but they're in a generational trap, so to speak. The older you get, the more you want to hold on to something and never let it go. You want it more and more. You want the institution. You want your dream. You want the stuff that you grew up with, that you were educated under, to be relevant to the next generation. So the legend and the institution continues to live on. The precedent never dies. And that's what we're looking at here. The precedent of a government system. And we're still trying to do that for our own damn government system here, but we're screwing it up left and right. We believe in individual rights, we believe in people's rights, and we're taking it away from one group and we're installing it to the elites at this point, or to the nut jobs out there. They have more rights than anybody else because they claim so. They want it. They're going to get it because they say so. Which I'm kind of surprised that we haven't really had a civil war against these people left and right on this one. That's why I call it civil war. Because if we reverted back to the first Civil War, we ain't going to call ourselves the United States anymore. We're not. People keep forgetting what history is all about, what world history, what their own country history is. Our own country, the United States. People keep forgetting and keep screwing the history up. They say, no, that's not right. No, that's not right. That's not right. No, that's what it is. You deal with it. No, I don't want to deal with it. This is what happened over here. We got this thing, and we got this thing over here. And then nobody else can take it away from us. But we can take it away from other people, and we can feel happy about ourselves. Yeah, and that's why we had people using guns against the other people doing that one, isn't it? Well, we had the 1860 kick in. The southern states didn't like what happened. They didn't like the northern states calling the shots, according to them, according to the southern states. And the southern states still wanted to keep their slaves. They called themselves the Dixiecrats. Theoretically, the Democrats of the South. And up north, well, they were basically the preformed Republicans who had more of a vision during that time, progression, and also manifest destiny going through their ass. And we had the clash for 4 frickin' years. Until the body count was adding up too much. We were getting sick and tired of the whole damn shit, but we wanted freedom. And we did try to consider the slaves as free as much as possible. And then had to recondition and reconstruct the whole damn South until we said, okay, that's enough. We got too much rebellion coming out of these guys and too much hatred and too much vitriol. People keep forgetting we had the Ku Klux Klan growing out of our own mess during that time. And mutated into different forms that we have today, including the ones that are running the country. Yeah, call them the maggots, call them the Trumplicans, call them the GOP. I don't recognize the GOP of this day and age. I recognize the ones back in the 80s, maybe 70s, maybe the 90s if there was any. But these days, dude. Extremism. And I got the people across the pond in the one particular island who has a problem against the monarchy. Shit. You guys got to be dealing with our United States of America over here and dealing with our politics. Understand how our politics are these days. What our whole damn history was about. Then tell me how you're dealing with it wrong. I mean, tell me how your monarchy is screwing you over left and right. If more of the power is still in the hands of Parliament at this point over here, you mean you have political parties still trying to either work together or trying to kill each other one way or another. Nah, not kill, but trying to make everyone else a bad hair day. But they don't like the monarchy because they're fat, they're lazy, they're wealthy, and they're draining off of everybody else. Well, I had to tell these assholes, but capitalism has done that to Corporateville. We got that running the board. Not to mention all over the damn country. So tell me what's really bothering you at this point. You know, I think I'll do the other video concerning my character because this one was just getting too damn irritating to me. Way too damn irritating. So, to those guys on Facebook, when I send a link out to you, I hope you understand. I hope you understand what's going on. Yeah, I understand that you guys don't like the monarchy, and for whatever things they've done, and you also remember the idea, the concept of absolute power corrupts absolutely. Well, the power's still in the people at this point. So what the hell are you going to do about it? Bitch and bellyache? Stop whining about it in your damn gray patch there. You're looking at the mud. Your old 4 feet's still there. Stubborn as mules. And solutions are just solid ground around you. What are you going to do? Keep crying that you're still in the mud patch or do something about it? Whiner babies.